Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020. Let's go ahead and rattle off some May 20th events. One of the biggest things ever, Abraham Lincoln is going to sign the Homestead Act into law. This is going to open up at least 84 million to 160 million acres of public land to any settlers that fill out an application. To all non-Confederates, if you've never taken up arms against the United States of America, so no terrorists, no Confederates could apply for the homestead land, but there's no but to that. But if you a terrorist or a Confederate, you took up arms, you couldn't apply, but everybody else could, even brand new immigrants. And women, brand new immigrants. So all Americans could go ahead and just fill out an application. They'd get themselves 160 acres of land west of the Mississippi, and all they had to do in the next 5 years is build a house, cultivate the land, and then that land would be theirs. 100% of all American land was given out this way. So I wonder how many people today curse the name of Abraham Lincoln when their very families were the direct beneficiaries of the great liberal Republican, old honest Abe Lincoln, the great liberator, right? Old honest Abe, the great liberator. So like those Bundy boys, right? They're talking about freedom and shit, freedom to let their cows use the public lands. Meanwhile, we got homeless people that don't even have a place to sleep. But we're going to make sure the cows have a place to sleep, right, and have plenty, to eat and drink, and to give them the Rio Grande to shit in. So Abraham Lincoln gave out 80 to 160 million acres of American land, so he helped to populate all of America. This is probably one of the biggest. He ended slavery, but this Homestead Act is major. This is huge. It'd be Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, I don't know, lands west of the Mississippi, right? So how many lands was settled because of Abraham Lincoln? That happened May 20th, 1862, second year into the Civil War, before the Emancipation Proclamation. 1882, a man named Gotthard, a rail tunnel named Gotthard in 1882 between Switzerland and Italy opens. 1892, George Sampson patents a clothes dryer. In 1892, the clothes dryer, did we even have electric then at it? The clothes dryer, fantastic, George Sampson. 1918, the first electrically propelled warship was created in New Mexico. 1978, U.S. launches the Pioneer Venus 1, which produces the first global radar map of Venus. The Planet 1983, the first publications of the discovery of the HIV virus that causes AIDS in the journal Science by Luc Montagnier. So they're just talking about HIV virus. 1983, 1830, D. Hyde patents the fountain pen. So we got a clothes dryer that's being patented. May 20th, we got a fountain pen that's patented. 1830, 2013, Yahoo purchases Tumblr for $1.1 billion. So goddamn, somebody hit the lottery. Whoever made Tumblr got themselves $1 billion from Yahoo. And hell, does anybody even go to Yahoo? Did that even help Yahoo out at all? That was 2013, 2018, Nicolas Maduro is going to win the second term for his presidency of Venezuela. So great success, right? Nicolas Maduro was elected by the people. More people turned out in his election and voted for him than for Donald Trump. Donald actually lost the popular vote. So Nicolas Maduro has more democratic legitimacy than Donald Trump does. They also don't have electoral college in Venezuela either. So Nicolas Maduro won May 20th, 2018, 1873. Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis receive a U.S. patent for blue jeans with copper rivets. 1873, this is the Great Panic. So Levi Strauss is being an entrepreneur, getting patents out for blue jeans during the Great Panic, the Long Depression of 1873, the first Great Depression. They all called it the Great Depression back then. 1310, shoes were made for both right and left feet. So before 1310, everybody was making the shoes for both feet the exact same, but 1310, somebody changed the game, made shoes for both left and right feet. 794 AD, while visiting the Royal Mercurian Court at Sutton Walls with a view to Marian Princess Alfrithritha King Ethelbert II of East Anglia is taken captive and beheaded. So, incredible. What the hell is going on there? But a king, a monarchist, a royalist was deposed. 794 AD. 1570, cartographer Abraham Orpheus issues the Theatrum Orbis Terrarum, the first modern outlet. 1775, the Mecklenburg Declaration of Independence is signed in Charlotte, North Carolina. 1948 or 54, I think it's 48, you're going to have General Louismo Chiang Kai-shek wins the 1948 Republic of China presidential election, and he's sworn as the first president of the Republic of China at Nanjing, the first president of nationalist China. 1506, Christopher Columbus dies in Spain in poverty at the age of 55, so genocidal rapist. In the end, they get it to 1964, the discovery of cosmic microwave background radiation by Robert Woodrow Wilson and Arno Penzias happens. 1875, you're going to have the Meter Convention, or the Metre Convention. 17 nations get together, and then this establishes the International System of Units. The International Bureau of Weights and Measures is established since 1875. The whole world uses this. And even in 2019, the International System of Units, SI, the base units, are redefined, which made the international prototype of the kilogram obsolete. So if you didn't even know about 1875, the standard for all weights and measures, then you wouldn't have known about the reforms in 2019. 1902, Cuba is going to win independence from the United States. The U.S. was going to liberate Cuba, but stuck around and occupied it, kicked the Spanish out, but now the U.S. were occupiers. But then, 1902, you're going to have Tomas Estrada Palma, going to be Cuba's first president, and the U.S. troops are going to withdraw as the first president. Tomas Estrada Palma takes office of Cuba. 2015, the last episode of David Letterman airs. After 33 years of broadcasting, 2015, the journal Nature publishes findings of the oldest human-made tools from Kenya's Turkana Basin, 3.3 million years. Oh, the first found to predate the Homo genus. So before man, wait, I thought human, what's a before Homo? That's not even a human. That's the ape-like creatures. They got, some ape-like creature. Anyways, May 20th, this is a very important battle. So, May 20th, 685, you have this, Britain, right? You have all these Anglo-Saxon tribes in Britain, the Northumbrians and the Picts and the Mercians, the Mercians. So the Picts and the Mercians and the Britons and the anyways, you have the Northumbrians. The Northumbrians are a bunch of pieces. There was a hegemony over northern Britain by the Northumbrians, won by Egfrith's predecessors. It begun to disintegrate, and several of Northumbrian's subject nations had rebelled in recent years. So this led to a number of large-scale battles against the Picts and the Mercians, or the Mercians, the Mercians, the Irish, with varied success. The Picts, they had their own Pictish language, similar to the Celtic language, related to the Brittonic spoken by the Britons who lived in the south. The Mercians were one of the kingdoms of the Anglo-Saxon heptarchy. They were known as the Mercians because they were the border people. Mercia dominated what would become England for 3 centuries, from 527 to 1918 AD. So the Mercians were the ones that were dominating at the time, but the Northumbrians, they were trying to dominate too. So you had these two imperialists. Anyways, the Northumbrians, the Mercians, subsequently they go to a gradual decline. 1818, when Wessex eventually conquers and unites all the kingdoms into the kingdom of England. So Wessex is going to be the Anglo-Saxon tribe that conquers all, the Wessex. We're all a bunch of Wessexians, the English-speaking, motherfuckers. You're all a bunch of Wessexians. But before the Wessexians united the Kingdom of England, you had the Britons and the Picts and the Mercians and the Northumbrians. So Northumbrians, they thought their shit didn't stink. They thought that they was the shit, acted better than everybody, drinking their tea with the pinky up in the air, their noses naturally upturned because their entire species were just stuck up to the max. Their houses had stairs. They just put on airs. They thought they was better than everybody. The Northumbrians had an undeserved arrogance combined with an elitist stench like security guards. After sieges of neighboring territories carried out by the Picts, Egfrith led his forces against him, despite advice to the contrary. Are you sure, Egfrith? You want to go to war against the Picts? Okay, Egfrith of the Northumbrians, the Picts are going to come at you like, spider monkey. So he wanted to reassert his authority over the Pictish nations. His suzerainty, a feigned retreat by the Picts, drew the Northumbrians into an ambush at Dunnecton, near the lake of Llangaren. Battle site thought to be near present-day village of Dunishin and Angus, but maybe it's more north, near Dungacton on the shore of Loch Inch in Badenoch and Strathspey. This is English. Decisive Pictish victory. Northumbria's power severely hampered in northern Britain. Egfrith was killed in the battle, as was most of his army. The Pict victory marked their independence from Northumbria, who never regained their dominance in the north. I wish I knew a name from the Pict tribe. The Pict English, the Pict Anglo-Saxon tribe beat the shit out of the Northumbrians. So you had Egfrith, thought his shit didn't stink, but Egfrith, turns out, he will never shit again, because he was, he was deposed of. So there's a deposition, right? May 20th, 685. 1972, the Republic of Cameroon is going to declare itself when its constitution is ratified. So the Republic of Cameroon, brand new country, less than 50 years old. May 20th, 1927, Charles Lindbergh lands in Paris. That's the first successful solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean. Fantastic, right? First person ever. 1927, took a plane, went from New York all the way to Paris. 33.5 hours later, first non-stop flight in the spirit of St. Louis. So Charles Lindbergh, I think he's going to be popular after this. Now you're going to have Amelia Earhart's going to do the same feat, but just like little girl push-ups, the standards for women are much, much less. So 5 years later, exact same day, May 20th, so Charles Lindbergh lands, that's when Amelia Earhart takes off from Newfoundland. This is in Canada, Harbour Grace, Newfoundland, Canada, and this is a shorter travel because she's going from Newfoundland, Canada to Ireland. So, it's 5 years later, but she's the first woman to do so. She's the first woman to do it. That's why it's notable. That's why she's distinguished. So, yeah, the first world solo flight across the Atlantic Ocean by a female pilot. She landed in Ireland the next day, right? She takes off today, lands in Ireland the next day, and then Amelia Earhart just disappears forever. Birthdays, 1913, William Reddington Hewlett, engineer, co-founded Hewlett-Packard. 1925, Alexei Tupolev, Russian engineer, designed the Tupolev Tu-144. 1895, R.J. Mitchell, engineer, designed Supermarine Spitfire and Supermarine S.6B. 1822, Frederick Passy, French economist, Nobel Prize laureate. 1806, John Stuart Mills, born economist, philosopher. Jose Mujica, 1935, Uruguayan guerrilla leader, the fourth president of Uruguay. He's going to legalize, he's a poor man's president, legalize the marijuana. He was a guerrilla communist fighter back in the day. Jose Mujica. You also had the First Council of Nicaea, 325 AD, Emancipation Day, Florida, Independence Restoration Day for East Timor from Indonesia, Josephine Baker Day, NAACP, National Awakening Day, Indonesia, Indonesian Doctor Day, the National Awakening Day. Isn't that nice? We need to have a National Awakening Day. So National Day, Cameroon, that's for their constitution. World Bee Day. The bees are important. They transfer pollen, get the flowers growing. World Metrology Day. Metrology, which is the study of metros. 1994, Bobcat Goldthwait Goldthwait, he was charged with misdemeanors for starting a fire on The Tonight Show. 1997 Thor-2A Delta II launch. Norway/US is successful. 2002. Excuse me. Portugal recognizes the independence of East Timor. 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope sends its first photographs from space. 1989, May 20th, Toonces the cat takes the wheel on Saturday Night Live. Toonces the cat drives over a cliff, and it's funny. 1992, rapper raps 597 syllables in under 60 seconds. 1991, the 4th Cannes Film Festival, Barton Fink, directed by Ethan and Joel Coen Brothers, wins the Palme d'Or. 1969, the Battle of Hamburger Hill in Vietnam ends. It's a 10-day affair, May 10th to May 20th, during an Operation Apache Snow, and we were successful. So America's got hill number 937 in the middle of Vietnam. We got it by full frontal assault. They had the hill, so we took that hill. And then just a couple days later, we abandoned the whole hill. So we took it over for a minute, and then we stopped. 72 Americans were killed during the Battle of Hamburger Hill. 372 were wounded. United States Air Force flew 272 missions, dropped 500 tons of bombs, and the 630 dead bodies of the Viet Cong were found. So, yeah, great success, America. We killed 630 versus only 22 Americans, and we died for Hill number 937 in a war that was pointless and bullshit to begin with, and went on for 25 fucking years. For way too long. 1996, SCOTUS rules in Romer v. Evans against Colorado in defense of gay folks. There was some homophobic law that Colorado had passed in 96, but the Supreme Court overruled them in Romer v. Evans. 2002, Portugal recognizes East Timor's independence. It's important. I know I mentioned it 3 times, but it's important. East Timor got to become its own nation, its own country. There's a genocide happening in East Timor. 1845, the first legislative body forms in Hawaii. 1861, the cornerstone of the University of Washington is laid in Seattle. 1916, Saturday Evening Post cover features a Norman Rockwell painting. 1920, Mexican President Venustiano Carranza nationalizes subsoil rights and reactionaries are pissed. 1942, the Navy allows black folks to serve. Also, May 20th, Cher is born. Timothy Oliphant, James Stewart, Joe Cocker, Busta Rhymes, Jose Mujica, John Stuart Mill. 1759, William Thornton, Virgin Island architect who designed the U.S. Capitol. 1537, Hieronymus Fabricius, Italian anatomist. Born 1664, Andreas Schluter, German sculptor. Architect is born. Timothy Oliphant, 1968. Howell Wing, philosopher, mathematician, born 1921. Edward B. Lewis, USC biologist, geneticist, Nobel Prize laureate. 1918, Spanish economist Diego Abad de Santillan. 1897, 1883, Fazl the First of Iraq is born. 1879, Hans Merwin, German chemist, is born. Edward Buchner, German chemist, zymologist, Nobel Prize laureate. 1860 is born. Hieronymus Fabricius, anatomist during the Renaissance, founded modern embryology. May 20th, 1537 is born. Edward B. Lewis is born, geneticist, who won 1995 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine for discovering functions that control early embryonic development. He's born May 20th, 1918. William Reddington Hewlett, born May 20th, 1913, electrical engineer. He did something for Walt Disney Fantasia, I think. Hewlett, and he discovered Hewlett-Packard. Or 1943, French, British, and U.S. victory parade in Tunis, Tunisia. 1969, Hamburger Hill. We finally captured it. So success. We're number one. We're number one. This ain't Detroit. This is motherfucking Hamburger Hill. 1992, India launches first satellite independently. Some other shit happens that day too, but there you go. There's a bunch of shit that happened May 20th for you vultures. 3:52 in the PM, May 20, May 2020, 2020, 2020, May 2020, 2020, 2020 of May, Wednesday. Peace.